Nothing gets filed until I've vetted it fully.
That's some bad news, ladies.
Find him. What are you doing?
Please open the door. We need to talk to you.
Natalia hasn't shown up yet.
What the hell?
General Hospital latest update. Explosive chaos hits Port Charles. Marco heroically saves Kristina from a deadly firebomb at Charlie's, only to be devastated by news of Natalia's shocking overdose. As arson is confirmed, Sidwell's dark ties surface. Alexis explodes at Sonny and Carly's PTSD resurfaces. Marco's nightmare begins, just as his mother's ends. Marco rescues Kristina from Charlie's, only to later learn of Natalia's overdose. Today on General Hospital, the news about the fire at Charlie's triggers PTSD for Michael and Carly. Natalia dies of an overdose, and Dante, Sonny and Jason learn the fire was arson. Kristina heads in the back entrance of Charlie's and notices the gas on the floor when a Molotov cocktail is thrown through the window. Alexis meets with Sidwell. At Windmere, Sidwell talks to someone on the phone from the parapet and says he can see they completed the job. He heads inside and Alexis has arrived to meet him. She has questions about all the goods he'll be importing, but he thought Marco was taking care of this. She explains Marco is a new associate, and she and Diane always oversee new associates and their clients for the first 6 months. Sidwell thinks this is a waste of time and that Marco is under scrutiny because he's his son. Alexis notes his issue and begins going through some of her concerns in his contract with the local dock authorities. She has several pages marked that worry her. At the hospital, Liz talks to Isaiah, who is covering the ER for Portia for the evening. Liz is glad as Portia has been here way too much lately. Later, Isaiah sees Liz looking at a photo of Lucky on her phone. It's from Aiden and it's of Lucky hanging off the side of a cliff. Liz says her son is having a great time with his dad. Marco spots the fire. Lucas, cleaning up Carly's place, gets a call from Marco. Marco is in his car and hasn't heard back from his mom. Suddenly he says, "What the hell?" He tells Lucas he has to call him back. At Carly's, Joss arrives and chats with Lucas. She's there to give Trina and Kai alone time. Lucas tells her about his dinner with Marco and that there are leftovers in the fridge. Joss fills her uncle in on the christening and the drama involving Natalia. Daisy's party winds down. At the Quartermain's place, most of the family has left. Carly suggests that Sasha take Daisy up to the nursery as she seems wiped out, but Sasha would rather keep her with her in her bassinet. In the foyer, Michael thanks Sonny for helping him put the kids to bed. Jason appears to speak with Sonny and pulls him aside. There is a knock at the door. Michael answers it and it's Molly, who's late thanks to court. Michael invites her in and tells her that there are a few people left, but that Kristina had to go to open Charlie's. Meanwhile, Jason tells Sonny that Natalia hasn't shown up at the airfield yet. Marco rescues Kristina. Back at Charlie's, Kristina tries to put the fire out with a fire extinguisher. However, it rages out of control and she begins screaming for help. Marco kicks in the front door to see if anyone is inside and Kristina yells to him for help. Marco gets in and she tells him that nobody but her is here. He grabs a tarp, they cover themselves and head out the back door. Outside Charlie's, Marco and Kristina get out safely as Dante arrives and checks on his sister before asking what happened. Kristina gasps, "Someone tried to kill me." News of the fire spreads. At the queues, Jason and the others head into the living room, and Carly asks Jason if he asked Sonny about Natalia showing up today. Jason did, but he can't tell her what is going on. Sonny chats with Michael about fatherhood and he wants to ensure his kids receive the same kind of attention that Sonny gave him. Sonny is proud to be his father and they share a warm embrace. Molly looks at Daisy and tells Sasha how precious she is. Sasha thanks her for coming and knows it must still be hard for her. Molly says she still thinks about what Irene might look like now, and Sasha says she understands as she thinks the same about Liam. Cody interrupts with bad news. He may have eaten all of the little sausage thingies. Jason heads out to the foyer, takes a call, and then informs Sonny that there is a fire at Charlie's. Carly, Sasha, and Molly look at the photos Carly took at the christening, while Cody talks to Michael about his dad and Jason's disappearance. Michael explains that when it happens they carry on as if everything is fine. Carly takes Sasha aside and offers to watch Daisy if she needs to rest. But Sasha says she's too hyped up to sleep. Just then Molly gets a call from a friend at the PCPD and learns there is a 3-alarm fire at Charlie's. Michael has flashbacks to the fire he was caught in as Molly worries about her sister. Cody offers to drive Molly to Charlie's. Natalia's unresponsive. At the Metro Court, the man guarding Natalia's doorsteps sneaks around the corner when Chase and another cop arrive. Chase bangs on the door saying they need to talk. Anna arrives, has the key from the hotel manager and opens the door. They find Natalia out cold and call for an ambulance. Chase checks for a pulse. Natalia is DOA. At the hospital, Natalia has been brought in, is in the ER and is unresponsive. Liz and Isaiah perform CPR, but they can't save her and call her time of death. Isaiah asks if she had ID on her, but Liz knows who she is. Back at Carly's, Lucas is shocked that Natalia disrupted the christening and wonders if she was drunk. Just couldn't tell. Just then Lucas gets a call from Liz. Lucas rushes to the hospital, and Liz says she hasn't been able to reach Marco. She called Lucas as she knew they were having dinner. Lucas is confused as Marco left to see his mom, so where is he? Questions surrounding the fire. The firefighters work to put the fire out at Charlie's as Marco and Kristina are treated by paramedics. Sonny and Jason arrive, and Kristina runs into her dad's arms. Jason sees Marco and wants to know what he's doing here. Kristina explains that Marco saved her and she'd be dead if not for him. Kristina explains the events of her being called in, smelling the gas, the fire being set, and Marco saving her. Marco says he was on his way to the Metro Court to see his mom when he saw the fire, and noted there was a car in the lot. He stopped to check to make sure nobody was inside. Marco explains that he needs to get to his mother, but Sonny tells him that he's not going anywhere. Alexis and Molly worry. Cody drives Molly to Charlie's and she's a wreck. She worries that this is another firebomb like the one Michael was caught in and she can't lose her sister. Cody tells her they won't know anything until they get there, so she has to stop torturing herself. Back at Windmere, Alexis is going through the files as Sidwell chugs back drinks. She gets a call from Molly and learns there is a fire at Charlie's, and Kristina isn't answering her phone. Alexis says she'll be right there. Later, Sidwell tells Alexis that the launch is on the way, and he asks if she's sure Kristina was in the building. She doesn't know and she just has to get out of there. Jack gets caught. At Carly's, Joss is eating leftovers and spies Jack lurking outside the kitchen window. She lets him in and he claims he was testing her. He's there to see her, not Carly. He's impressed by her plan to distract Emma, which Vaughn told him about. Joss thinks this could have been a phone call, so was he hoping to see her mom? Jack gets snippy and reminds her that he's her superior, so it's not proper for her to question him. She wonders if his superior knows he's dating his agent's mother. Carly appears and wonders why Jack is here. Jack claims he was hoping to see her. Joss says she realizes she has a quiz tomorrow and heads back to her place to get some notes. Joss leaves and Carly tells Jack about the fire at Charlie's and how it triggered her and took her back to being with Michael in the ICU. The scene of the crime. In Natalia's room, evidence is collected, and Chase says it looks like it could be suicide based on the spilled pills and booze. Anna says, or this could all be staged, and it looks like she was about to leave, noting she was in the middle of packing. Chase recalls the man rushing away from the door when they arrived, so Anna says they need to find him. Anna and Chase soon arrive at the hospital, and Lucas fills them in on the garbled messages that Marco got from Natalia, and that he said she was likely drunk. Marco went to see her, but had to hang up as something unexpected happened while he was driving, and he doesn't know what it was. Anna asks Isaiah to perform an autopsy, but Lucas says they can't until Marco knows his mother is dead. Alexis unleashes on Sonny. Outside of Charlie's, a paramedic insists that both Marco and Kristina go to the hospital as they inhaled a lot of smoke. Marco asks to at least get the phone from his car. Suddenly, Molly shows up and embraces her sister, glad that she's okay. The fire chief lets Dante know that the fire is out and his men are working on the cause. Dante calls Anna to report about the fire at Charlie's, and it appears that an accelerant was used. He says Kristina was the only one in there and she is fine thanks to Marco. Alexis soon arrives, is relieved Kristina is okay, and the lawyer knows it's no thanks to Sonny. She lashes out at Sonny, saying that she always felt Kristina working with him was a bad idea, as he brings violence with him everywhere he goes. She yells that she will not bury another daughter. Meanwhile, Marco keeps insisting to the paramedic that he doesn't need to go to the hospital. Dante off the phone with Anna tells him he should go. Michael has flashbacks. At the cues, Michael continues to have flashbacks of the fire at Sonny's penthouse. He is shaken and goes into the living room, where Sasha and Daisy are the only ones left. Michael gets a text that Kristina is okay and he's relieved. Michael fixes himself a drink but stops, and realizes he can't have alcohol with the pain pill he took that morning. She didn't know he was in pain so much still. He says he usually doesn't need the pills, but he knew they would be doing a lot today. He explains he has some residual nerve damage and soon he should be pain-free. Michael says it's not as bad as the debridement he underwent after the fire, and he's glad Kristina doesn't have to go through that. In the show's final moments, Carly gets a call that Kristina is okay. She is relieved. The news of the fire caused her to shut down, and the anger she felt that night that Michael was injured came rushing back. She says she couldn't do anything for Michael at that clinic but listen to him moan. Jack tells her she's experiencing PTSD and he's been through this. She thanks him for understanding how she is feeling. She hasn't told Joss as she'll blame Sonny and she'd be right. She doesn't know what she'd do if something happened to Donna. He embraces her. Sasha tells Michael that when he was at the burn unit at General Hospital, she knows he asked for her, but he was sedated by the time she got there. She always wondered what he wanted to say to her. He says he wanted to tell her to take care of their daughter no matter what happened to him, and she did. Michael says his kids are safe and he's going to make sure they stay that way. He will never be like his dad and nothing like that fire will happen to his kids. Marco arrives at the hospital and Lucas sees him covered in ash and asks what happened to him. That's when Anna interrupts to talk to him about his mother. Marco panics and asks if she's here. He rushes off into a room and comes face to face with her corpse. At Sidwell's, he is on the phone yelling at someone saying if Sonny's daughter was in that fire, then there will be hell to pay. His instructions were clear and they were to make sure that the building was empty. At Charlie's, Kristina tells her mom they don't know what caused the fire, but Alexis says this is Sonny's fault. She says she won't lose another daughter again. Kristina tells her mom she needs to get checked out at General Hospital, and Cody tells her that he'll drive them both. After they leave, Sonny and Jason see the fire chief approach Dante. They listen as he tells the detective that this was clearly arson, and Charlie's is now a crime scene. On the next General Hospital, Tracy yells at Brooklyn that she's not happy about being right. Anna tells Chase she got something from Metro Court security. Outside of Charlie's, Joss vents to Vaughn that Sonny brings death everywhere he goes. At the hospital, Marco says he's positive that is not the full story. Sonny tells Jason, if Marco ends up collateral damage, so be it.